Okay, a couple of quick housekeeping things before we get started with this meeting. The handout that you have that you're going to fill out, that's documentation that you were here today, and we have to have that back from you. So just make sure you fill it all out, sign. What you write on that form at the bottom is just preliminary. It's not going to be your final choice, so don't start stressing about that now. I will talk about all of the placement process later in this meeting, but that is documentation that you are here to verify attendance. Everything that's shared today will be captured and available online for you to go back and reference, so don't feel like you have to write every single thing down in this meeting. You'll have access to go back and grab all the information and revisit. So, but those two things, and then you're going to hear about certification, you're going to hear about advising, and then about the actual placement process to get you guys geared up and ready for clinical teaching in the spring. So thanks for being here.
Howdy again. So I'm Ms. Korn. I'm with the certification office. I'm sure you're tired of my emails and seeing and hearing from me, but the end is near. You're almost done. Okay, so we're going to talk about the things that you're going to need to take care of between now and graduation. Again, I know that's a long stretch of time. Don't worry. You'll see me again. You can always shoot me an email. And like Ms. Parrish said, you can always go back and reference this video. So if you guys, how many of you have passed your content test? Oh, that makes me so happy. Good. For those of you who haven't, you know you have until October 15th to get that taken care of, okay? Now it is time to start on your PPR exam. If you haven't already, what you need to do before October 15th is go in and request approval to take this exam. You can do that today. You can do that on October 14th. I don't care. Just make sure you get that request done, because when you guys leave campus, you're going to forget all about this. So let's get it done as soon as we can so that you don't have to worry. And when you're ready to take your PPR exam, you could just go into your Pearson account and register for the exam. So it's the same process as your content exam. You'll fill out the form. Give me a couple days. It gets loaded into your Pearson account, and you're ready to go from there. This page, the application for certification is likely to change between now and the time you graduate. And if it does, I will let you know. But you need to do several things on here. This is the page where you will fill out a form for me, the certification information form. That form just simply tells me that your address is correct. Give me an email address that is not your A&M email. So when you're off in the world doing great things, if I have to reach you because you won $1 million, I'll have an email for you. Okay? That form might go away. So if you're going through this later and you see that and the form's not there, just know that it was removed. We are also going to get you a letter of intent. That form is what generates that letter of intent to be written for you. The letter of intent is what you will provide with your application to potential employers. It basically says that you're a student here with us and that we anticipate you'll complete all of your requirements and graduate, and after which we will certify you. School districts like to see this. It shows them that you're in good standing. It shows them that you're on the right path and you're ready to graduate with no big issues coming up ahead of you. On the bottom of the form, it'll have spaces for you guys to complete. When you took your content exam, which exam did you take? When you took your PPR exam, what your major is, all those good things. It's a Word document. Save it and update it as you take them. When you fill out one application, you maybe haven't taken the ESL yet. That's okay. Once you pass it, go back in, update that document, and send it to the rest of your contacts. These letters will be emailed to the email address that you provide on the information form. So if you give me your Gmail or your Yahoo account, that's where the letter of intent is going. It happens every semester. Your friends are all getting them. It hasn't popped up in your A&M account and you're in a panic. Check your other account. It's probably there. If you have any questions when we get to that point, please let me know. It's a really simple process, but it seems to trip everybody up. You don't have to return that form to me. That's yours. You do with it as you please. Also, the steps for completing your application with TEA are listed on this page. It is a PDF. It'll walk you through step by step on how to go into your TEAL account and apply for certification. And this will also start the process of your digital fingerprinting. You can start applying for certification after you've passed all your required exams. I really don't want you to start applying for this until the latter part of the semester, simply because you have to answer a survey for TEA, and you're not going to be able to answer all the questions on it until you've been in the classroom for a while. TEA is going to ask you, did your supervisor come visit you? Did you get proper feedback? Did A&M prepare you for technology in the classroom? Did we teach you how to deal with a diverse student population? Did we teach you how to deal with English language learners? Some of that you can answer up front. Some of it you can't. You're not going to know if your cooperating teacher provided positive feedback. So please wait at least until after spring break when you start doing the application. The problem that comes up is that you guys are going to need your fingerprints done, some of you, before you clinical teach, and this is how you do it. If that's the case, ask the school district to issue you a fast pass, and it will bypass this step. If you need to use this step, go ahead. We don't have any other way to do it. So you can just go right on ahead and start the application process and do your fingerprinting. Anybody already have their prints done? Oh, good, a lot of you. Okay, so when you get to this step, if you think your fingerprints are already on file, you don't have to do it again. But I strongly encourage you to pick up the phone and make the personal phone call to TEA to ensure that your fingerprints are on file. Don't assume that they're there, because that can hold up your certification. Most of the time they're there. If you worked with any kind of school district, after school club, daycare, that kind of thing. Any questions about fingerprints? All right. So when you submit your application for certification, you're going to list your primary content area. If you are a 4 through 8 person or an early childhood, EC through 6, that's what you're going to list. Your ESL, you are able to take that exam now, but you will have to add that after you are certified. So you'll get certified after graduation for your primary content area. Early childhood or 4 through 8 specialties or secondary or special ed or whatever it is. After that certification has been posted, which takes a couple days, you're going to go back in and add the ESL. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pay that application fee twice. But because of state law, we have to do it this way. If you are a 4 through 8 person and you also take the core subjects, you will add that one as well after graduation. If you're adding both core subjects and ESL, you only pay the fee one time and you can add both of them at the same time. Any questions about this part? Nope. Okay, good. And again, that's where you're going to do your survey. Fingerprinting, you're going to pay $39 on the TEA site. That's going to initiate an email to you that's going to have a code in it. It'll tell you where to go to set up your appointment for your fingerprinting. You go do your fingerprinting. When you get there, you're going to pay them another $10. It's quite the racket. Here locally, the fingerprinting place is next door to Chili's in that little section. Burdett and Sons is next to it. They usually have quite a few openings. If you are out of town doing clinical teaching, make sure you use a Google Earth or something and look at the storefront of where you're going. They're usually hidden inside other businesses. So just so you make sure that you know where you're headed when you get there. And they're not always in the safest place in town. So you may want to take a friend. Okay. It stands to reason that you cannot be certified until you have a degree, right? Everybody knows that, right? Look at somebody around you, because at least 15 people in here are going to email me by March or April and ask me to certify them before graduation. Don't be that person. Please. Because you're going to get a very short response back from me. It's going to say no. I cannot, by state law, do it early. If your district puts pressure on you, have them call me, because they know the law too. You can get offers, and you will get offers prior to graduation. Everybody knows that it has to happen once your degree is conferred. With that being said, look at everybody in this room. You are only 4 programs out of 11 that I deal with. So after graduation, it's going to take me a while, because it's a manual process, one by one, verifying all of your completion. I'm pretty good. I get it done in about a few days' time. But every time I have to stop to answer your email and tell you that I'm working on it, that it'll be a few days, that puts me a little bit further behind. With that also, if you're missing something, if you haven't applied for certification, if you haven't filled out your information form, if you haven't passed your PPR, I'm not certifying you. I'm skipping you and I'm moving on. And I'm not even going to send you an email until maybe June and say, you're not certified and here's why, because you're missing X, Y, and Z. If you have a job offer, it is imperative that you go through and make sure you have all of that stuff done, because school boards and administration offices close about 2 weeks after school ends. And they're going to want to get you hired and get your name to the school board before they all go on vacation. So make sure you have all that done, okay? Any questions about the application and the actual certification? Awesome. Oh, front row.
The application, you said you don't, so do we do it right after we graduate?
You can do the application anytime after you've passed your primary content exam and your PPR. I don't recommend you do it until at least after spring break because of the survey. Yes, ma'am.
So once we get approved to take the PPR, we can take the if we get approved October 15th, we can take it anytime after October 15th.
Yeah. So the question was, once you get approved for the PPR, can you take it at any point? Yes, technically. You're still in classes that are going to cover some of the pedagogy, but for the most part, you're fully prepared and ready to take that exam. On that note, I would try to take the PPR before you start clinical teaching. That semester is hard. You're going to be tired. You're going to have lots to do. Your feet are going to hurt. You're going to be cranky. You're probably going to get a cold. Take the test as soon as you can. It just takes one less thing off your list to do. Also, you cannot miss clinical teaching to go take a test. So you'd have to give up a Saturday. And you're going to want those to get your Netflix in because you're going to be so tired every day that you're going to bed early. Trust me. Take it as soon as you can. As soon as you feel ready, and just knock it out. Anything else about? Yes, ma'am, way in the back. The PPR approval form is just like your content. It's in your MyCEHD, the certification website. So MyCEHD and then certification. And also in that website, you will click on apply for certification, and it will take you to the link for TEA and where you apply for TEA. Somebody else back there had a question? Yes. So the question was, anything else to get ready for PPR? Yes, you have access to T-Cert. You got that during Junior Methods. There is a fantastic practice test for the PPR on their website, and it's free. There's also one on the Pearson website. It costs $10. It's interactive. It'll point you to where your weak areas are. You can also purchase Certified Teacher. You can use that same discount code and buy it through Certified Teacher as well. But the one at Tarleton on the T-Cert is by far what I think is the best one, and it's free. Anybody else? Yes. The PPR is the same cost as your content test. Sorry. Ask for that for Christmas. Put that on your Christmas list. Yes. Okay, important question. If you do not pass the PPR, you still have to wait the 45 days before you can retest. You're still going to have to email me, and we're still going to go through a remediation process to get you ready. The PPR does not have to be passed until graduation, so you've got time if you do have to retake it. Yes, ma'am.
Since we're not getting our actual certification until after graduation, are we not allowed to put certified in our content on our resume?
No, because you are not certified yet. You can put that your certification is pending. You can say you're working towards certification. Find a nice, very professional way to say, I'm doing everything I can to get certified. But you cannot claim that you are until you actually are. Hey, and y'all, I'm going to echo what the speaker said earlier. When you start applying, don't lie to them about what test you've passed, because they can see that. So if just because you plan to take the ESL and you plan to pass it, don't tell them you've already passed it. You can say that you're pending or you're planning to take it. Don't tell them you've done it, because they can see that, and they'll probably not hire you if you tell them a fib. Yes?
For the content exams, we have or had 5 tries. For ESL and PPR, is it the same?
So the question was, do we have 5 attempts for the PPR and ESL? Yes. You have 5 attempts for each test. You're not going to need them because you're well prepared, but you do have them. Okay, let's see. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, yeah, one quick thing. Just because you graduate doesn't mean you're getting certified. Right? We all know that. Just because you complete A&M's coursework, you're not getting certified if you haven't completed all of the certification requirements, i.e. passed a test, applied, whatever. And after graduation, when I look up your account, if you owe the library 34 cents for an overdue book, I'm not going to certify you. If you have a parking ticket, you're not getting certified. So basically, if there is a hold on your transcript, you're not getting certified. So please pay the library. And don't park in a reserved spot. I've been there, done that when I was a student. Got towed. It was very expensive. There's a checklist on the My CHD page. I know you guys are the paper-free society, but print this one out, please, and put it in your folder somewhere that you're going to look at, and physically check that stuff off. And hold on to that so that you know you've done it. You can put notes on there, whatever, so that you don't have to worry or email me every time you forget if you did something. You'll know. That's it for me, unless you guys have questions. Anybody else have questions? Email me. I know you're going to forget some of this. I get it. It's confusing. It's a lot. Right now, you're just worried about getting through another semester, and it's football season. I get it. Your priorities are not on me. But email me if you run into questions. Yes, ma'am. It will be on the TLAC website. Is that right, Ms. Parrish? The video of this? It'll be on the Clinical Teaching website. Seriously, y'all, email me. Have a great semester. Do great things. I look forward to seeing you guys again, and good luck and gig 'em.
Howdy. Okay, my name's Jennifer Lopez. I'm one of the TLAC academic advisors. All of our information's up on the board. You can get a hold of Justin Smith, Charles Otto, Jenny Folsom, or myself if you have advising questions. So I'm pretty sure all of y'all already have our emails, but if you can jot it down, or you can refer to the video that they're going to upload. Okay, clearing for clinical teaching next semester. Y'all are coming in for mandatory advising. So this is when we're going to clear you for clinical teaching. We're starting mandatory advising September 3rd, technically, because ad drop week officially ends Monday at 5 o'clock. Okay, ad drop, anything. All of y'all are in senior methods, so you shouldn't have to ad drop or anything. So mandatory advising will start September 3rd, and it'll go all the way through September 20th. And this is where you get cleared for clinical teaching. We do one last degree evaluation to see if everything's in. That's why you've been coming to mandatory advising each semester, because we want to make sure that everything's clear for your last semester here in the spring. We accept appointments Monday through Friday. So we're using a new system. Fall 2019, we rolled out Navigate. So Navigate is located in your Howdy portal. So when you go log into Howdy portal, you can click on your My Records tab. The third column on the right-hand side, you should see Navigate or Navigate Appointments, or you can download the Navigate app. So we've heard it's a lot more user-friendly than Swan. I will let you know it's the same thing as Swan, where you can only see the 7 days ahead, so 7 days in advance. So unfortunately, you can't go in and make an appointment a month from now. So it's just 7 days. There's 4 of us, so we're going to be able to get through all of y'all for 3 weeks. So we're able to do this each semester, but I definitely recommend you to make your appointment sooner rather than later. But we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4, and definitely use that Navigate app. Okay, so we throw this slide up there. Y'all are all in senior methods. It's the semester before clinical teaching. All of your coursework should be completed other than senior methods and clinical teaching. That means if you're pending a course, if you took something summer 19, or maybe you took something summer 2018 and you still need to turn in a transcript, please turn in a transcript as soon as possible. Transcripts process between 2 to 6 weeks, so please get that in. We have to make sure that it's adjusted on y'all's degree evaluation so you clear next semester for graduation. So please have that on your radar. Just because you submitted a transcript, do not let that go off your radar. Maybe send me an email or one of the other advisors. Check back between 2 and 3 weeks, and we can always look at your account to make sure that transcript was processed. It's on your degree evaluation, and we'll just double check if we need to do an adjustment to your degree evaluation. No classes during senior methods and clinical teaching. That also includes the transcript. So we will definitely email y'all if you forget to turn in a transcript, guys. It's very important to get that transcript in as soon as possible. So stay in contact with us. We're here to help you. So we can definitely keep checking your account to make sure that that transcript went through. Like I said, transcripts take 2 to 6 weeks to be adjusted, okay? Registration in November. So y'all are going to register like normal students. You'll get your registration timing ticket. It's good to pay attention to the section that you're going to pick. Section 500 is local. Section 550 is distant. So 500, 550, local and distant. The 4 courses down at the bottom for TLAC, for EC through 6, so EC through 6 generalist, on all y'all's degree plan, TEFB 426 is on y'all's degree plan. That is what you need to register for, and then you pick the section, 500 or 550. If you're middle grades, it's MEFB 497. That's the 6-hour course. That is what you need to register for in November, and then you pick 500 or 550 for local or distant. If you're ag teach and university studies, you have MEFB 467, which is a 6-hour course, and you have TEFB 429. It's a 9-hour course. On y'all's degree evaluation, check with your major advisor. Make sure which one you pick, okay? You have to get the 6 or the 9. Majority of y'all pick the 6-hour course because that's what's left on y'all's degree evaluation. But some of y'all have to pick the 9-hour course because you're missing 9 hours. So that would, if you pick the 9-hour course, then you've completed your degree evaluation. TED 425, that's the 12-hour course. A handful of y'all need that 12-hour course. Majority of everyone in this room is 99% of y'all probably need the 6-hour course. There is a special 12-hour course, TED 424, and that is just for a handful of people that are on a certain financial aid or scholarship option that says, hey, you need to take 12 hours each semester. But check with your scholarship liaison, check with financial aid office, and see if you qualify for that, okay? I think on the next slide, it's going to explain to you, majority of y'all need the 6-hour course. So some of y'all think, ooh, I'll just register for the 12-hour course and be a full-time student. But if your degree plan only calls for the last 6 hours or the last 9 hours, then you need to register for the 6 or the 9. Financial aid scholarships department will see that you only need 6 hours, so they're going to ask you and they're going to email you, why are you in the 12-hour course? Like I said, 99.9% of y'all need the 6-hour course. There's a handful of y'all that actually need the TED 425 section, the 12-hour course. So talk to financial aid and scholarships about that. Okay. And then y'all are lifelong learners. You're going to be in the classroom teaching. Majority of y'all are interested in master programs. So definitely do the research. You can contact Dr. Sharon Matthews, or you can email a TLAC graduate advisor, so you can jot down their email. But do the research, guys. There's a lot of, you're in the education field. It can go several different avenues and directions. So do the research. There's a master's in curriculum instruction, but there's other masters out there as well. So please do the research. Kind of started to be thinking about that. Your undergrad advisor can kind of talk to you about it, but we're probably going to refer you to the grad office because they're the special or the experts in grad and master programs. Okay? Any general questions or concerns or comments? No? Navigate's hopefully going to work out for y'all? Yes? Okay. We hear it's more user-friendly. Okay. Any questions, guys? You can email us, and you can come in for appointments. So thank you.
All right. Last speaker. So you guys just stick with us for a little while longer and you'll be good to go. My name is Kim Parrish. Mary Ronsonet in the back. Our office will handle your clinical teaching placement starting now, moving all the way through graduation. So you will get emails from us ongoing. You should have gotten an email about this meeting, about exams if you haven't passed your exams. So you will see emails from clinical-teaching@tamu.edu for the remainder of your time here. But the main thing we're going to talk about today is how to get you guys set up and ready to be placed for clinical teaching in the spring. Okay? This, like I said, this PowerPoint will be available online once we get this back from technology. So sometime next week when we have it and it's online, we'll send an email confirming that we have documentation that you attended today and the link so that you can go and review the information if you need to. Our office is in Heaton Hall as well, so if you need us, you're welcome to stop by. We're in 102. All right, so options for clinical teaching. You can be local and you can be distance. Advisor talked about that. So local is within 35 miles of the area, and if you want to stay here, we will get you placed with a qualified mentor and supervisor. There will be a minimum of 3 of you guys at a district if you are placed within a 35-mile radius. There's partnerships that we have with various districts. If you want to move home or potentially to a district where you see yourself starting your career, we have partnerships with quite a few districts, and those are listed. We also will hire the supervisor and make sure you're set up for success in one of those districts as well. If there is a district that you're interested in that's not on the list, and it's more than 35 miles away from one of our partnering districts, you'll need to stay after, and we'll talk about what options you have for that. Make sure that you get all of your paperwork in on time. Submit any requirements the district has so that you are able to go off to a distance district. If you are put on a growth plan during senior methods, you will have to stay local. All right, lots of things impact your placement. So just be aware you have to be placed within your certification area. If you're going to a large district like Sci-Fair, the supervisor may only be zoned into one area of Sci-Fair, so you may request to be in a certain school, but if the supervisor isn't zoned to that area, you may be placed at a different school. Mentor teacher availability as well, so you have to be with a qualified mentor. So the school that you're hoping to go to may not have a mentor that fits into your certification. If you're going off to a distance district, Frisco, they may have certain schools where they put all the Aggies. So just because you ask to be close to your house, you may get placed at a school with other Aggies, and it may not be your first choice. Other things that impact your placement, where you've been before. So on the application, you're going to list your previous placements, grade levels, subjects, things like that. That's all taken in consideration to try to make you as marketable as possible. So make sure that you list your previous experience and be thoughtful about what you request for your placement for clinical teaching to set you up as marketable as possible. Make sure you meet all the deadlines, so the application, turning that in on time, getting in for advising on time, any paperwork that's requested by the school district, passing your primary content exam. October 15th is the last day that you can test to pass your test to be cleared for the spring. And then we also read through all the special considerations. Those are shared with the distance district. So if you have a request, you are welcome to write that. And that's definitely considered, just not guaranteed. Okay? We hire T-test qualified supervisors. So that is one piece of the puzzle that's required by TEA. Just know that they will all be trained, and we hire them. They're hired by A&M. And if for some reason we are not able to find a qualified supervisor in your first district choice, your placement may change to your second choice, so or even possibly your third. So just bear that in mind, that we try to accommodate all first choices, but there are other factors that impact that. There is also potential that a school district will say they can't place all Aggies that request to go there. Some districts are saturated with university requests from universities across the state, and they may cap the number of students that they're welcome on their campus or that they can place and feel comfortable supervising and taking care of. So we do ask for other second and third preferences on the application, but we will let you know if for some reason you're not able to be placed at your first one. We'll let you know if we're moving on to the second one. Okay? All right, the application itself is going to have just lots of information that helps us and that we share with the district to get you set up. Cell phone, we have an app where we'll send reminders, so make sure you include your cell phone. Use your A&M email, that's the one we'll use to communicate. So for this semester I'm moving into clinical teaching, that's the one that we need. Make sure you indicate your primary certification. TEA requires that you are placed in your primary certification field. So if you're a 4.8 math science, you can't request to be in second grade. Okay? So just make sure that's clear. If you're secondary, just make sure you write out or spell out your actual area that you're getting certified. So if you are life science, be really specific. If you're science composite, just so that there's flexibility or not flexibility. If you're just chemistry, you've got to be in a chemistry class. So be clear on your actual primary certification. You're going to rank your top three distance districts. So if you're leaving the area, going to the Dallas area, there's multiple Dallas options. You're going to list 1, 2, 3. If you're staying local, all the local districts will be listed, and you rank all of them. So from your top choice to your 10th choice. I think there's 10 on the list. So rank all of them for local. And then you're going to rank or list your top 2 grade level preferences and top 2 subject area preferences. That is very helpful for our office if we're placing local, and for the distance districts to get that information and try to get you in your top choices. It asks for a zip code. That is helpful if you're going to a large district. If you happen to be the only one going to that district, they will try their best to accommodate your request. So that is a helpful piece, not required. But if you do know your zip code, please include that. Make sure that your preferences are varied from where you've been. So if you've already been in first grade, don't put first grade as your first preference. You're not going to get put back in first grade. If you're in first grade now, you're not going to get put in first grade for clinical teaching. So if you put that and you don't get that, then that gives them kind of free rein to put you wherever they've got a spot. So be really thoughtful on thinking where you've been, and then indicate your next choices. And at the end of the application, there are 4 questions that you need to write out in a paragraph form. That's going to be the very first impression that the school district's going to have of you. It's going to ask you questions about your ideal classroom, 3 words to describe your teaching style, and explain those. So this is the piece that they use to try to match you up best with your cooperating teacher. So you need to spend some time and be really thoughtful on this to set you up for success. Districts read through these. We read through these when we're making placements. So spend some time. Maybe have somebody read through it. Spell check. Just remember that that's going to be the first impression that they're going to have of you when they get that application. There is a special considerations piece on the application. It's just an open-ended text box. You can write in there anything that you would like. So if you don't have a car, you're going to write, I do not have transportation, need to be on a bus route, or need to be with someone that can take me. If you have a special request for a school or a teacher that you would like to be considered to be placed with, that's where you're going to enter that information. The application, once you submit it, you will get a summary. I would encourage you to save that so you can remember what answers you wrote in case the district contacts you and asks you more questions or follow-up. Helpful to have that. But once you submit the application and go all the way through the process and hit submit, if you change your mind on anything on the application, you've got to start the process over again. So I would encourage you, you can start it or you can look through it, make notes in a Word document and just save it. Once you submit it though, if you change, you just decide you want to change grade levels or you change, the district preferences, you've got to start the process all over. So if we go in at the end to get all the applications, we're going to pull the most current one. So if you've submitted 5 applications, we're going to pull the one that came in last. Okay? So you're going to want to save what you've submitted. If you need to change anything, resubmit your application. We're going to pull the last one. Okay? All right. Requesting specific school teacher, absolutely. You are more than welcome to write your ideal, perfect situation. That will be considered. We will do our best, but just know there are no guarantees. You cannot be placed on a campus with an immediate relative. So if you have a mom, dad, sister, brother that is teaching on a campus, you cannot be on that campus. Okay? If you have a immediate relative that is a district level administrator that is over supervising direct supervision of principals and or teachers, you cannot be in that district. So if you have questions about that, I'm happy to answer them at the end of the meeting. Okay? Working during clinical teaching, not advised. I'm sure you have friends that are clinical teaching right now. It's a full-time job, but unfortunately you're not getting paid. But you will be tired. You will need some downtime. But if you do have to work, we understand that. Just it can't interfere with your clinical teaching responsibilities. So you can't leave your campus when the kids walk out to run to another job. If your teacher needs you to stay, grade papers, get ready for the next day, that's got to be priority 1. So if you do have to work, hopefully you can arrange that for the weekends. First day of clinical teaching for you guys will probably be January 6th. Looking at most school calendars, most of them start back on the 6th, which is the Monday. You follow the school calendar where you are placed. You do not follow A&M's calendar. So your spring break may be different from A&M's. Your holidays may be different. You follow the school calendar. So if you're curious about your actual start date, you're thinking you want to go to Richardson ISD, the school calendar's there. You can pull it up and see what your start date will be. Okay? You have to complete 70 days in the field. So that's why we start when the school kids start back for the semester to get 70 days in prior to graduation. Okay? Attendance policy basically is in line with what you guys have in senior methods. 1 unexcused absence, you'll make up 2 days. 2 unexcused absences, you would make up 4. No more than 2 unexcused absences for the semester. Excused absences, you make up 1 for 1. So if you're sick, you just put in an absence report, add that day to the end of the semester. But you do have to finish 70. So if you get sick and have to miss a week, you're going to add a week on at the end. Unfortunately, that could potentially impact running toward graduation. So if we have to, we can give an incomplete and you finish your 70 days before you can get your final grade. Spring is usually less of a problem. Fall, we have kids that not missing any days finish the week of graduation this semester. Their school year didn't start until the 27th, and with holidays and Thanksgiving, they literally finish the week that they graduate. So, student rule 7 or what are considered excused absences. The other piece that I would highly ask you to consider, don't plan your graduation trip with your parents to Europe by looking at the calendar and going, oh, I finished May 5th, let's leave May 6th. There may be bad weather days. You got to make those up. You may get sick. You've got to make those up. We had 2 students last spring that had to cancel family trips because they hadn't given themselves any buffer. And so when the time came, they weren't finished with the requirements at A&M. So I would say wait till after graduation to plan your trip. You've got a couple of weeks in May before summer gets here. So just keep that in mind. All right, the application is due on Friday, September 20th at noon. So that's when we'll go in and sweep the applications. Anything after that would be considered a late application. Advising, that's the same date that you need to have been in for advising to be cleared for your clinical teaching semester. We will meet back in here again on the Friday, November 8th. Same time. That we will talk about what the actual semester of clinical teaching is going to look like. And then the October 15th test date deadline. I know there's some of you guys that have not attempted your test once. So you guys need to get on that, get cleared, study really hard because you've got one shot. Between now and October 15th, your 45-day window is now. So if you have not tested, you've got one shot. So spend lots of time in Certified Teacher and prepping for that. If you don't pass by the 15th, you will postpone clinical teaching a semester. So you will be back in this meeting going through this process again a semester late. Yes?
Where can we find this clinical teaching application?
I'm going to, just a second. Yeah. Any questions on these due dates? All right, so what do you have to do to be cleared? Before you're going to get your placement and before you are good to go, you've got to come to both the meetings. You've got to be advised. You've got to pass your exam, submit your application, and then certain districts are going to ask for information from you. A lot of the large districts are going to want background check paperwork from their district to be cleared and processed before they're going to finalize your placement. Okay? All right, the website where this will eventually be posted is listed, the MyCHD. Here's the link to the application if you guys want to take a picture. This will be sent to you next week, so if you're not, there's no rush. You don't have to do it this weekend. But that is the link to the application if you do want to get started, and the certification information as well. All right, career fair. I know is a requirement for senior methods. You'll be in attendance at career fair. We do have an opportunity if you would like to serve as a host or hostess for that event. There is another application you can submit. You will get a stipend that will be applied toward your clinical teaching semester if you come. Basically, it's helping us get prepared for the event, and then the day of the event, you're assigned a group of school districts that you are kind of the first line of, I need anything, they need water, they need help setting up, things like that. Great way to meet recruiters on a different level. You're there to help them. It's informal, but we've had relationships that have grown from that work experience and has landed jobs down the road. So if you're interested in that, at the top of the sheet that you're going to turn in when you leave, write career fair, really big at the top, and we will send you an email with an application to that next week. So if you are interested in a distance district that's not on the list and you're going to stay after for the meeting, hold on to your sign-in sheet. Our office, like I said, is in Heaton Hall, 102. Any questions in general about the application process, what information you're going to get? Yes?
So if we are student teaching or have student taught a certain grade, we cannot request that grade?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. If you're EC6 and you've been in first grade already, don't request to be back in first grade. If you're 4-8 math science and you've already been in 5th science, don't ask for 5th science. You can ask for 5th math, you can ask for 6th science, but don't ask for the same thing that you've already been in. Yes?
So we can't go to the same school?
Correct. You cannot be placed back at the same school. If you've done early field at a school, you will not be placed back in that school. Yes? No. Clinical teaching's pass-fail. Well, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, yes. Good question. Yes?
In our previous, school where we could, we need to put, previous methods where we were and, any observation?
No. Just junior methods and senior methods for previous placement where you've actually had a true formal field experience. Yes? If you've been in junior methods or senior methods at a school, you will not be placed back there. Yes?
How does the pass fail for clinical teaching
that will be determined when you finish senior methods. Your GPA won't change after that. Yeah. Yes. If you did not get an email from us, then we already have you checked off as cleared passing the exam. If you got an email from us saying we don't have record of passing, then, I mean, ultimately it's up to you guys to make sure that you're cleared. You're going to get an email if you're not cleared by October 15th through us. So, but if you passed it like in June, we've already checked that off. Yeah. Yes. Correct. So if you're in 5th history, you can't ask for 5th history, but you can ask for 5th English or 6th history. Yes. Any other questions about the application? Yes. Yes. Correct. Placements will be sent electronically probably the first week in December, if I'm guessing. It'll take that long to get distance districts placements done. We get through career fair. We make sure you've all passed your exams. So it'll be after the second meeting. Yes. Yes. Special considerations. Yes. I've visited with the principal here and would like to be considered. Yes. Any other questions about the application? Special considerations. So you're going to get an email saying that we have confirmation that you attended today. That email is going to have a link to the application, a reminder of the due date. It will probably be the end of next week before we get this back from Technology Services and get it uploaded. Yes. Correct. There's no rush on the application. As long as it's by the 20th, you're going to get an email next week, and then you'll get a follow-up reminder of the due date. So no rush. It doesn't matter when it comes in as long as it's before the 20th or by the 20th at noon. Any other questions? Yes. Not typically. Most districts will host all the Aggies. We've had times where certain school districts, for whatever reason, there were like 10 English social studies students that all wanted to go to South Lake Carroll. They couldn't accommodate all those requests. So, but once they tell us, we go back to the students that they can't place and say, unfortunately, it didn't work out, so our plan is to send it to Capel or whoever your next choice was. Yes. So if you're plan A, your first choice is to go to Comal. So you would put distance and put Comal. But there is an option on there within the distance for your second option. It could be local, but at that point, it's just anywhere we have a spot. Does that make sense? So, but if you're staying local, you've got 10 options. So you would list those 10. You wouldn't pick College Station, Snook, and then Frisco ISD. So when you get to that part of the application, it'll say local or distance. You click one, and then based on what you answer there, your options change. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, so if you're interested in a district that's not on the list and more than 35 miles, you need to come up here to the front, and we've got another quick meeting with you guys. Okay?